Today we'll be reacting to Tommy and the Tree, the craziest September of all time. Let's get it.
I know I usually do a recap at the end of every year, covering everything that happened from influencers to politics to memes. And I'm happy to say that will be coming out. But this September, I just had to talk about it a little bit. Because people have been memeing on it and just saying,
what the f is going on?
Every day I'm waking up seeing a new jaw-dropping story across the world. As of recording, we're literally halfway through this month, and Charlie Kirk got assassinated, life was just found on Mars, Nepal overthrew its...
Life what?
Halfway through this month, and Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Life was just found on Mars.
How come I didn't see this? How come this isn't big news?
Nepal overthrew its government. Roblox is getting sued by a YouTuber. Russia's invading Poland. A dead body was found in a music artist's car, and the Epstein files released. If this is 2025, we're not going to survive 2026. I guess we can start off in order with Roblox getting sued by Law by Mike. Roblox has been going through the gutter ever since Schlepp made that exposed video on them. They've been losing billions and getting clowned on by
honestly, good riddance.
Politicians step up to fight against them, then getting sued by a state. I mean, when your game has animations like this, should we be surprised?
Yo! They add twerking.
This isn't even the worst of them. Like, if I showed the worst, this video will probably get taken down. So on September 1st, Law by Mike dropped a video saying he's suing Roblox and pointed out all the f***ed up things Roblox has yet to address. One of them was the fact that anyone could make an account on the website before 2021 with just a username, password, and birthday. It's the first step for every game company to have you enter in an email at least. This makes it way easier for predators to create some bot accounts and lure some kids off the platform. And also, what happens if you forget your username and password and don't have an email connected to the account? Was your account just blipped from existence forever? He also says that their AI moderation is a failure because groomers always find a way around it. They'll either use some type of secret emoji codes or text in the chat to still get through, which only makes me wonder, when are these companies gonna realize AI is not built up as much as they thought it was? Now it feels like companies are only becoming unsafer with this AI bullshit. It's almost like removing an actual human being and replacing it with a robot that works half the time was gonna cause problems. But you know they don't care. Roblox does anything for profits. He also exposed that Roblox is lying about how many moderators they have. They try to say they have thousands working around the clock 24/7 to protect kids, but it turns out they only have 3,000 total. And that might seem like a lot, but keep in mind, Roblox has well over 100 million active players a day, which is only growing every day with more kids joining. Those poor employees. I could only imagine how many requests they have to come through a day. It's always worse when you have less too, because you're gonna have employees making mistakes and they probably got some quota from David Baszucki to hit. I can imagine him looking down from above on them and giving an execution order when an employee makes a mistake. Because of all this, Law by Mike said he's now joining Schlepp's lawyer to help sue Roblox, and that anyone who's had a similar experience to Schlepp on Roblox can contact him so we can add them as well to it. Right now, Roblox is looking like Thanos after snapping. If they manage to win this, I'm gonna start buying the lottery again because anything is possible. Right after this, the Epstein files officially released to the public. Well, actually, not fully released, just partially. The fact that 33,000 pages being released
it partially got released.
This only partially makes me sick to my stomach. This was really the devil, bro. How did we live on the same planet as him? But randomly out of nowhere, a government branch decided to force Epstein's estate to release his 50th birthday book, which did indeed expose Trump for signing an inappropriate letter to Epstein. I always wonder how these rich dudes get so freaked out. Their freaky is always 10 octaves above the public. I don't know if I can show the letter, but I'm not gonna risk it because this vid might get taken down. It takes like 2 seconds to find though on the internet anyways. The letter itself is a bad drawing of a naked woman's body with Trump's signature directly on the bottom of it. I feel like in the past, if people heard that a president got exposed for signing a nude letter to a predator, they would assume he would have got impeached by now. Maybe this is just the bar that we've set for the future. They also had a fictional conversation between them on the letter. Aw, they're doing some cute couple role plays, such goals. I'm not gonna lie, two men having a fictional conversation written on a letter has gotta be some form of zesty. There is never a time you'd ever see me and my homies do this with each other. At the end of the letter, the last thing Trump wrote is, "A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and let every day be another wonderful secret." Well, surely he clarified at least what he meant there.
Hey, Trump supporters, I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder when I say this. It might be time. Might be time to get him up out of there.
And it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time knows that's not my language.
Oh. Well, I have no reason to say he's lying. I believe him. Moving on. It's crazy because if I'm president and I'm accused of being a predator like this, and I'm saying someone's smearing me with fake signatures and all that, I'm instantly releasing a forensic analysis showing it's fake. Like, I run the country, give me the best one and get it done in a couple hours. But ever since he said this, there hasn't been a single peep from him.
Okay, just make sure my face cam still get captured.
About it. You've had to have some real genius out there to smear Trump with a fake signature 20 years ago knowing he would be president just to use it as blackmail against him. People are pointing out also he has signatures from the past that look exactly like the one with Epstein, and even ones he signed in 2022 with that exact one. But he's changed up the signature ever since becoming president, which makes you think, is this man really dumb enough to think people won't go back to his old signatures and compare them to see how alike it is? The answer is... probably, yeah. Russia now might invade Poland, so yay. Another World War III threat this year. At this point, how many World War III threats are we at this year? Because every month I'm hearing a rumor that the may start up and I'm gonna have to get ready to be drafted. This month, Russia decided to send drones to Poland's airspace, which they say was an accident and they weren't intentionally aimed there. What's up with these governments thinking people in the world don't have brains like them? It's actually disrespectful because they deadass think we're all toddlers and can't tell what's real and what's not. Although nothing was really damaged and the drones turned out to be decoys apparently, Poland was not messing around with these. Word on the street is Poland's moving like the Texas of Europe. They deployed their-
I watched this channel, called HFC, that's the short term for it. He covers like, he maybe does military stuff, but it's so entertaining. I know nothing about military, and I will still watch because that's how entertaining he is. And that's how I found out that's how I figured out Poland is on demon timing. That's how I figured out Poland's on demon timing, bro. They are moving like little European Texas.
Jets to shoot down the drones because you gotta show dominance. And they also invoked Article 4 of the NATO treaty, which means they're now meeting with all other countries to discuss where further to go with this. All it takes is for them to agree to move to Article 5, and we potentially in them World War III trenches. The military better be able to hold this out with my tax dollars, because that draft is one I will be dodging. I don't care if I gotta act like Timmy from South Park, I'm not going. While a country was attacking another country, Gen Z in Nepal just said F it and burned down their government. Finally, Gen Z!
Whoa.
It's time for us to rise up. I don't know why, but I thought in our lifetime we would never see a government overthrown with all of our modern technology. I thought we was and shit. Our generation got a bunch of femboys and furries. Are these the people that are supposed to fight? Like, whenever I see footage of a government being overthrown, it's always from the 80s or in black and white. But this all started when in Nepal, the government decided to randomly ban all major social media platforms. And with stuff like this, it's always a buildup. The people there already felt like the government was too corrupt. So this one little thing pushed them to the edge. At first, the protesters started peacefully with people asking the government to change its ways. But then the police started using rubber bullets and tear gas.
Yeah, unfortunately, unless you're in America, sometimes you might not have to do it peacefully, which is unfortunate. I always say peaceful protest, violence isn't the way, but in other countries not named US, sometimes I don't blame these guys.
Protesters.
Because in the US, you're allowed to peacefully protest, and you can't, unless you turn it to violent, then they can start arresting you. But if the police starts it, they could be in the wrong. But in another world,
the one thing you never do to a peaceful crowd is start firing at them, because their next and only option is revolt. So all the Gen Z kids started fighting back and crowding the streets, slowly adding up to more and more until the police couldn't handle it. And in the middle of this revolt, for some reason, there was a random British tourist there vlogging to witness it all. When all other media fails and there's no other source, always count on a random British man in a miscellaneous country recording it.
Oh, shout out to them. It's unfortunate copyright issues. Because he had to mute the whole video.
On second thought, the overthrowing can't be that bad. They gave him water for free. Apparently the whole thing was actually very wholesome other than the government buildings getting burnt down. People were helping each other if they got injuries and driving them to the hospital. People set up stations to give each other food to refuel. And after everything burnt down and their previous prime minister resigned, they cleaned the street together and are gonna start building up everything again. In a way, this is the most peaceful overthrowing of a corrupt government I've ever seen. After all this, they of course had to elect new people in the government considering all the old government got pushed out. And the place they chose to pick their leader wasn't in person, wasn't through local polling. They elected their new prime minister through Discord. Say what you want about Gen Z, but we get things done in the stupidest possible way ever. New prime minister also would make her the first female prime minister in the country's history. So she got a lot on her plate, but you know what? Good luck to her and the rest of the Napoleon people. You could tell their government was corrupt because sadly there was 72 casualties just in the days of this going on. In America, if it came out the government off 72 people on the streets now, we would probably have a civil war all over the nation. Moving on, David, who's a singer that blew up in the past couple of years, mainly becoming big off of TikTok as most artists do nowadays. If you think you've never heard of his name, I guarantee if you hear one of his songs, you probably heard it on a TikTok before. His Tesla had been found abandoned on the street and got towed to a local towing yard. It was there for a while when the workers started noticing a bad smell coming from it. And when they called the police found a body in a bag in the trunk. I could not be a cop because I would not be the same after seeing something like that. As soon as it came out, all of his fans were like, it's over. Their favorite TikTok artist turned into OJ. But it turns out at the time it got found, he was on tour already for a while. So unless he pulled some mafia type of calls and had someone taken out and left in his trunk for some reason, which doesn't make sense if you're trying to hide a crime, but whatever, then it was pretty much impossible for him to have done the crime. The police also said he's not a suspect and he's working with them to help. That's gotta be awkward to address to the public, right? Usually artists are addressing scamming allegations or something else, but a murder, that's a little more than what we normally see. But f that, because now we got signs of Mars has life. One of NASA's rovers last year got a rock sample from Mars.
Give me the information.
That, because now we got signs of Mars has life. One of NASA's rovers last year got a rock sample from Mars. And that specific rock sample is also connected to an ancient river on the planet. They say the Mars rocks are about 3.2 to 3.8 billion years old. Whenever I see stats like this, it's always crazy because it shows our lives are literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. I don't even believe the universe is that old for real. Show me some 4K footage that I'll start believing. The scientists found minerals on the rock that can be linked to life-friendly signs, which they match with the ones we have here. It also had elements like carbon, which is linked to microbiolife. The problem is, since we're on Earth and nobody's there, we can't fully confirm if it's 100% accurate. We have to manage on the rovers, which always have to break for some reason. But if they confirm it's true, it's the strongest evidence that Mars once had life like us or has life on it now. If they are there, I say we leave them alone. It would be kind of cool to chop it up with the alien and ask it how its life is going. Maybe have a little smoke session with it and get high. But we'll just drag them into our planet and all the bull we caused. They're probably gonna look at us like, damn.
I know we're kind of up, but damn, being born a human is crazy.
And for the last one, that's probably the most craziest thing that happened this month. You've all heard by now, but political commentator Charlie Kirk got assassinated in broad daylight. If y'all know me and my stances, y'all probably already know what I'm gonna say. Political violence is never the answer and doesn't solve anything.
Yeah, like, political violence is not the way. Like, R.P. Charlie Kirk, did he say some crazy outlandish things? Yes. I made a tweet out when it was announced that he did indeed pass. You could 100% hate the guy. That's fine. You could 100% disagree with him. 100% fine. But celebrating on his death is insane. Like, I'm looking at you as like a kind of evil.
Anything. And judging from the reaction and the fallout from it, people are even more split than they already were. You got the dumbest of sides.
Bro, I've always said that both political parties are literally the same, but just the only thing that's different is if it happens to them, bro. Like, there was one quote I saw of one Republican dude saying, Your hero is George Floyd. By the way, they don't even call him a hero. They just want justice for him. And my hero is Charlie Kirk. We are not the same. Bitch, you are the same, bruh. When there's something LGBTQ, y'all fight against it. Y'all are the same, bruh.
One side laughing at a man getting gruesomely murked in front of hundreds of people, and the other side saying it's a civil war now and it's time to get locked and loaded.
That's crazy.
It's time we rise.
Remember how I said, y'all are literally the same. Some people want people like, on the left, wants people like you gone. Horrible people, by the way. And yet, people like you want a other group of people gone. Literally the same thing. Y'all are the same. This is why I don't like politics, bro.
Why is Andrew Tate tweeting civil war? Don't even live here.
Yeah, you don't even live here.
Worry about your sex trafficking cases and crypto scams. Stop worrying about our affairs. To me, it looks like if this is the type of precedent we're setting for political commentators, like for politicians, it's one thing. Even though it's bad too, that's something people more expect is a possibility. Then how far are we gonna go with this? Even though Charlie Kirk is on the more extreme side with stuff he says, it starts like that, then dwindles down to everyone else. It honestly shows how sad we've gotten, and I'm honestly scared of what's to come. Like for the people cheering online about this, now the other side is pissed and some insane person out there is probably gonna try to get some type of retaliation on a person or a group of people that are innocent as well. It's gonna be a never-ending problem, which is why it should be condemned. Is it now valid for you to get murked on the street because you had a disagreement with someone politically? Now that I've said that, even though I feel bad for his kids and I hope they can get through life
but his poor kids.
dealing with this, I'm not about to sit here and act like I'm actively crying and mourning the guy. Like, two things can be true at once. It can be true that he didn't deserve to go like that and gun violence
I don't
bad,
think he,
but also,
like I said, I don't think he deserved to die, but a lot of the shit he said is crazy.
I'm not gonna mourn someone who sent hate to all types of groups all the time. Charlie Kirk got one of the worst digital footprints on the internet. There's that clip people are posting everywhere when he's talking about the Second Amendment.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
And yeah, that's definitely not a good look for what happened.
But just use the Second Amendment as like an example of someone break in and they had a gun and you don't. It's that simple.
He's also said things like the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, said abortion is now worse than the Holocaust. He was a huge rage baiter, and even though I'm not going to celebrate what happened, I see why some people don't care.
That's why I said in a tweet, you can 100% hate the guy. He said outlandish things. Like the Civil Rights Movement was a mistake. Abortion is worse than the Holocaust.
This whole thing has turned into a giant political butt fight. You got all the conservatives blaming liberals and saying it's because...
By the way, this is AI. I'm letting y'all know right now. This is AI.
Because of their rhetoric and the way they talk that it happened. And then you got the liberals saying that's hypocritical because they do the exact same thing and would probably laugh at one of their people on their side dying. I hate to have the commentator take, I guess, but yeah, it is truly both sides would act the same in
exactly what my point. Y'all are
the exact same scenarios if it was a person on their side. Like, it's just how things work. I do think it's funny, though, how all the conservatives are saying, how could people celebrate? Acting like they haven't been making fun of George Floyd for 5 years.
They was. And, by the way, whenever the left tries to move on to something else, they keep bringing him up.
Jokes were never funny to me when they first happened, and the fact they keep bringing them up nowadays like it's supposed to be some jump scare for black people, I guess. Like, bro, it's been 5 years, almost 6 years. Let it go, man. And now you got them treating him like a warrior, saying he's the MLK and Jesus. This gotta be some form of blasphemous. How are you a Christian and don't know you can't compare any human to Jesus? If Charlie's their MLK, though, then I don't want to know who their Malcolm X is. People may say to me, well, Tommy, he probably wouldn't have given you the same grace if it happened to you. And yeah, I'm sure if it did, he'd say it's tragic and all, but...
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths.
I don't really like this excuse because I don't live my life according to how someone else may act towards me. Like, do you act in the same way as a person you don't like? All I know though is from this whole thing happening and getting this many people's thoughts on the internet, we were never meant to see everyone in the world's reaction to something for real. Nothing good can come from it, and y'all better strap in this month up until the end of the year because I have a feeling it's not gonna be a smooth ride until the end of it. Anyways, let me know y'all's thoughts on everything going on and how you're praying to survive up until the end of the year. Follow me.
You know, people are like, yeah, the world is burning, we're not going to make it. Buddy, we're just going to somehow make it. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to somehow make it. At this point, I'll believe it when I see it, bruh. Alright, when I know for a fact we're not going to make it past a certain point, I'll believe it. We're going to still somehow be here on December 31st at 11:30 a.m. celebrating New Year's, bruh. That's just how it's going to go. Anyways, WVO Tommy Industry, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. In the meantime, I'm going to go stop and edit this so y'all can get it because I recorded this in the morning again. I was too exhausted last night. But I will see y'all later.